Scorching temperatures are taking a toll on roads and ruining vacations.
It's pretty unbearable unless you're in AC or near water.
The most common mistake people make when trying to beat the heat. And Katie explains just how hot the mercury will rise today. Donald Trump says he is a target in a criminal investigation into the Capitol riot. The signs he could soon face another indictment. On the campaign trail, Governor DeSantis says he will strip the military of so-called woke policies.
There's huge amount of concern about the direction that the military is going with all this.
His plan to boost lagging recruitment numbers. Rescued after nearly 3 months at sea.
What do you say? I'm just so grateful.
A man and a dog in an extreme story of survival. Making ends meet, many shoppers are turning to buy now, pay later apps. But are they safe?
Our results found some troubling issues.
The risks they're taking and the fine print to look for. And $1 billion is up for grabs in tonight's Powerball drawing. The stunning amount the winner must pay Uncle Sam on this Wednesday, July 19th, 2023.
Live from the local station, the morning show starts now.
More than a quarter of Americans could feel temperatures of 105 degrees or higher this week. You're looking live right now over Las Vegas, Louisville, and Phoenix, which set a record, by the way, yesterday with 19 straight days over 110 degrees. Wow. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for choosing us this morning. The National Weather Service has issued excessive heat warnings and advisories for more than a dozen states in the West and South.
It is dangerous. It is hot. The sweltering temperatures aren't expected to break until next weekend, and this poses a serious health risk for anyone without air conditioning.
Yeah, traveling won't help you escape the heat either. Nevada is tackling extra road repairs because of the extreme temperatures.
When it's over 100 degrees, our street temps can be over 140. It makes the asphalt soft, and big heavy trucks can cause ruts in it.
This Phoenix doctor says his ER is trying to keep up with heat-related illnesses.
We'd probably use about 5 or 6 times that. Unfortunately, we're starting to run out of ice.
And this news camera overheated in Death Valley.
Pretty unbearable unless you're in AC or near water. So I was like, we're going to the water.
Plenty of Americans are escaping their hometowns for summer vacation, but that doesn't mean they can escape the heat. Italy, France, China, and Japan have new temperature records from this week. Wildfires are burning on multiple continents, and Delta says a flight in Las Vegas didn't even make it off the tarmac Monday because at least one passenger was treated for heat-related discomfort. Health experts just suggest going someplace cool.
The most common mistake people make is trying to tough it out.
According to the Climate Prediction Center, temperatures in much of the South, including here in Florida and the Southwest, will remain above normal, meaning the next 2 weeks should continue to be hot.
Michigan's Attorney General is leveling felony charges against 16 Republicans who signed a certificate falsely stating former President Donald Trump won the state's 2020 presidential election. It's the first time so-called fake electors in any state have been charged. They each face 8 charges, including forgery and conspiracy. The defendants are accused of meeting in the basement of state GOP headquarters to sign documents claiming to be the legally qualified electors in the state. In reality, President Biden defeated Trump by more than 154,000 votes there in Michigan. The group includes current and former state officials, a Republican National Committee member, a sitting mayor, and a school board member. Their arraignment date has not been set. The former president says he's the target of another criminal investigation, this one into the Capitol riot on January 6th. Special counsel Jack Smith is leading that probe, and Trump says he received a letter from Smith's office on Sunday. Prosecutors typically send target letters to people who are under investigation to alert them that a probe is in its final stages. Mr. Trump has received 2 target letters in the past, one in the investigation into classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago, the other from New York prosecutors over hush money payments. Trump was indicted in both cases and has pleaded not guilty to all of the charges.
The Senate is one step closer to passing its version of a critical national defense bill. Senators voted to take up the bill last night. The House passed its version last week. It includes a number of controversial amendments backed by GOP lawmakers, including changes to abortion and transgender health care policies, as well as changes to diversity and inclusion programs. The White House has already said the president will not sign the House version as it stands. Once the Senate approves its version of the bill, lawmakers from both chambers will have to compromise on a joint version. Senators are expected to give final passage to their bill next week. The Department of Defense says a U.S. soldier willfully crossed into North Korea without authorization and is believed to be in custody. Travis King was recently released from custody in South Korea and was to be returned to the United States when he separated from his escort. Reporter Emily Schmidt reports the United Nations is now working with North Korea to resolve the situation.
The U.S. Army says Private Travis King is the soldier who on Tuesday crossed into North Korea and by the end of the day was the topic of clearly coordinated Washington media briefings.
I'm a U.S. soldier on a private JSA orientation tour crossed willfully and without authorization.
Willfully and without authorization crossed into North Korea.
Willfully and without authorization crossed the military demarcation line. We believe that he is in the BRK custody.
An Army official tells CNN King was going to be administratively separated from the Army after facing disciplinary action for assault. He was escorted to a South Korean airport to go back to the U.S., but when the escort could not go through customs with him, King was able to leave the airport. That's according to a U.S. defense official.
In terms of my concerns, I'm absolutely foremost concerned about the welfare of our troops.
In 2016, American student Otto Warmbier, who had traveled to North Korea for a trip, was accused of stealing a political poster sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. He was released the next year on humanitarian grounds, but died shortly after returning to the U.S. Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley says North Korea's leader cannot be trusted.
What I will say to Biden, if you go talk to him, I can tell you what Kim's going to want. He's going to want sanctions lifted. We cannot do it.
I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
King joined the Army in 2021. He was being returned to the United States to be removed from service.
Developing this morning, thousands of people are evacuating Crimea following explosions at a Russian ammunition dump. The blasts follow a round of airstrikes targeting the Ukrainian port city of Odessa. People there described it as a hellish night. Just some of the video coming in. Ukraine shot down several of the missiles, and officials have asked people to stay in shelters. Several people were hurt, including a 9-year-old boy. Odessa is one of the country's main exports for exporting grain. The strikes come after Moscow backed out of a key trade deal that allowed exports from that region. The move is expected to impact food prices across the globe. Vote 2024, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is defending his plan to end what he calls woke policies in the military. He says diversity efforts are hurting recruitment.
There's huge amount of concern about the direction that the military is going with all this. And here's the thing, things like DEI and all that stuff, it hasn't worked in other aspects of society. It very well may be on the constitutional chopping block in light of the Supreme Court's decision on racial discrimination in higher education. And so it's not a model that I think is going to be successful in the military.
In a sit-down with CNN, DeSantis said he would eliminate diversity initiatives and end programs designed to prepare the national defense system for climate change. He would also revoke a policy that allows transgender people to serve in the military as their preferred sex and reinstate service members who were dismissed for refusing to get the coronavirus vaccine.
Police are now searching several locations linked to a suspected serial killer in New York. Investigators are looking for forensic and physical evidence at a property that Rex Heuermann owns in South Carolina as well as Las Vegas. He is charged with killing 3 women and is the prime suspect in a 4th killing. He has pleaded not guilty. Investigators say there could be more charges. A total of 11 women have been found dead in the Gilgo Beach area of Long Island since 2010. And a 17-year-old school shooter is still eligible for life in prison without parole. A judge denied Ethan Crumley's request to take that punishment off the table. He pleaded guilty to 24 charges, including 4 counts of first-degree murder for the 2021 attack at Oxford High School just outside of Detroit. The judge also denied the teen's request to keep witnesses from testifying. Las Vegas police are staying tight-lipped after serving a search warrant connected to the 1996 murder of Tupac Shakur. Now, police executed the warrant in Nevada on Monday. It's unclear exactly where they searched or what they're looking for. The case, though, has been at a standstill for years. He was shot and killed in a car while leaving the MGM Grand Hotel on the Las Vegas Strip. In fact, a white Cadillac pulled up and someone fired shots out of the back window. No suspects were ever identified. Detectives said that the investigation hit a wall because witnesses were not cooperating. Last month, Tupac was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. His sister was there to accept the star on his behalf. Though his career only lasted 5 years, he has sold more than 75 million records.
Hollywood studios accused the Screen Actors Guild of mischaracterizing negotiations as actors enter their 6th day on the picket line. The Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers says actors walked away from a $1 billion deal and says the union is distorting offers that were made. The Screen Actors Guild is accusing studios and streaming services of exploiting workers. Working actors say they aren't paid enough to meet the cost of living.
There are no jobs. We don't have any castings. Our residual checks are at the bare minimum.
I don't have the resources to spend for weekly groceries.
Actors voted to go on strike last week after failing to agree to a new contract by the deadline. Negotiations have not resumed since the Guild crossed the picket line. Northwestern University football player is suing the school, accusing its recently fired head coach of tolerating hazing. This comes after an internal investigation found evidence of hazing within the program. The lawsuit by a former player says Coach Pat Fitzgerald was aware of hazing activities, many of which involved forced nudity. The filing also describes bullying that often took a sexual and/or racist tone. The university parted ways with Fitzgerald last week. He maintains that he was unaware of any hazing.
Lionel Messi is settling in with his new team in Miami. Fans lined the streets to see him make his debut during his first practice with Inter Miami. He arrived in Florida last week and is expected to play in his first game with the team on Friday in the opening game of the League's Cup against Cruz Azul. The Powerball jackpot has reached $1 billion. That's with a B, folks.
And yet again,
hey!
Jennifer is
here. You can only dream, right? Yes, of course. I am collecting money. Well, from inside the station. Don't send me $2.
Mail her $2. We don't know what's going to happen with it.
I don't think he'll get here in time.
It's the 3rd largest prize in the game's history. News4JAX reporter Aaron Farrar is live for us this morning. Aaron, I want to ask you this question. Have you put any thought into what you're going to buy if you win? I mean, you are, after all, right outside, so you can get as many lottery tickets as you want this morning.
So you already read my mind. I already have 5.
He's got them. Those the winning numbers.
Hey, yeah, you have to be in it to win it. There's always a chance if you have one. Of course, those odds are not encouraging, but if you don't have one of these, there's no chance at all. We did speak to a couple of people this morning, and they have their mind set on what they would do with $1 billion if they happen to hit the jackpot tonight.
Buy all the equipment I need to start my own business. I'm a welder, so I'd deck out a fab shop, get myself a nice truck and a rig that'd go on the back, and I'd probably get an old Jeep, beef it up a little bit, go mudding. But I mean, really, as long as my family was taken care of, I'd be happy with that.
Probably just pay off my mom's house. I got a couple friends, I pay off their bills, and we just go and live the good life. I mean, that's what having that amount of money would do. You won't have to worry about none of the things that everybody else worry about on a day-to-day basis.
Again, $1 billion is the 3rd largest jackpot in Powerball history. No one has won the top prize since April 19th, so that's 3 months exactly today. The odds of winning are not great, as I mentioned. It's just 1 in 292 million, meaning you are more likely to be struck by lightning or bitten by a shark. To put $1 billion into perspective, if you were to stack $1 billion in pennies, it would be 870 miles high. That's 158 times the height of Mount Everest. Or if you were to split it between every American, we'd all get about a whopping $3. It's more than half of Mayor Donna Deegan's proposed $1.7 billion budget for Jacksonville, and $1 billion is nearly enough to pay for stadium renovations by yourself. Of course, the winner won't walk away with all of that money. If you choose the cash option, that's $516 million before taxes. Uncle Sam will take 24% off the top, which is about $134 million, but you're still going to be left with quite a little bit of money to spend however you'd like. The drawing tonight is set for 10:59, and let's not forget about the Mega Millions jackpot. No one reached and hit that jackpot last night, so that cash prize now is up to $720 million for the jackpot for Mega Millions. But again, with a Powerball, you have to have one of these to even give yourself a chance at the $1 billion. Reporting live, I'm Aaron Farrar, Channel 4, the local station.
All right, the awesome, sharp-dressed, kind, generous Aaron Farrar reporting live.
He's kissing up already.
There's tickets that he is destined to share with us.
You're at the top of my list now, Vic.
There you go.
I hope I'm too.
What a tie. I mean, have you seen that tie? That is a nice tie.
Thank you, Aaron.
Keep it going. I'll give you some more money, too.
We don't have enough time.
If it's any consolation, by the way, we bought tickets. I think I bought about 28 tickets, and we won $2 the last one. So we're hoping to do better this go around. Good luck to you, Aaron.
ExactTrack 4D constantly scans for new threats in your neighborhood, alerting you faster than ever when severe storms are heading your way.
You can make such a difference with money like that for anybody.
So many people's lives.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the charities that you could support.
I know.
I mean, it'd be incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Give it back. Just take like a small little slice for yourself to just be comfortable.
Right, because you don't need it. But the charities you could do.
That's so much money, too.
I thought about like school lunches for kids. You could pay for that forever.
Absolutely.
You know?
Life-changing. Life-changing for sure.
Was really upset that I didn't get to tell Aaron how great I thought he was. Because, you know.
He already took his earpiece out. Took his earpiece out. There's no use.
All right, well, let's get to weather because, you know, who knows if we're going to win the lottery. But we're not winning the heat wave today. It's not great out there. We have a heat advisory in place. And with that being said, the temperatures today are getting more and more dangerous, and that's an accurate word that we can use to describe this forecast and tomorrow's forecast and Friday's forecast, because today's high is 98 degrees, okay? Tomorrow and Friday, it's 99 is what I'm aiming for right now. So this heat advisory goes until 5 o'clock for the whole viewing area. Good news with the air quality, well, pretty good news, I guess I'll say. It was worse yesterday from the Canadian wildfires, but today it's getting a little bit better. Still, if you have breathing issues, I would not take the risk and be careful out there. Here's St. Augustine at the White Room and people out walking around. It's a gorgeous shot out there today. Very, very humid, 75 and sunny right now. Here's your weather headlines. Near record heat today, and as you look at temperatures, near triple digits for just the temperatures, not the heat index, the temperatures. So showers and storms return this weekend. We've got a 20% chance in for today and tomorrow and Friday, but it's going to be likely south of Flagler County. So 75 in St. Augustine, 73 in Keystone Heights, and as we look right now in Brunswick, you're at 75 there, as well as in Folkestone. So these are your feels like temperatures by 11 o'clock. Yes, triple digits, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, it's going to feel hotter than it did yesterday. It's going to feel like it's about 107 by 2 o'clock this afternoon. Triple digits into 5 o'clock, and then by 9 o'clock, you still feel like you're in the 90s. So just not a lot of improvement. If you're going to go to the beach, it's a great beach day out there. Take the umbrella, shield yourself from the sun. Your rip current risk is moderate, and you have a little breeze out there, but not a big one. And with 98-degree temperatures, it'll be good to have a cooler full of water. Better if you have a boat because you can get that breeze in your face. It feels phenomenal. Or go jump in the pool. And if you do that, just remember to wear sandals because with the air temperature being what it is, the asphalt and the ground is so much hotter you could get burned very easily. Again, there is a small threat for some storms today, but from what I see right now, the majority of you won't see a thing. So general storms, nothing severe, but the rain chances again do pick up into next week. Here's Tropical Storm Dawn. Been following this through Bermuda, and right now it's moving south at 5 miles an hour. It'll eventually make the turn and turn back east where it loses strength. So Here's your planning forecast. 75 currently, 96 by 4 o'clock this afternoon. And as you look at the next 3 days, yep, pretty brutal. 99 degrees for 2 of those days. And as we get into the next 7, rain chances throughout.
Now, here is your Nimnicht Automotive Time Saver Traffic.
Good morning. Here's a look outside at I-10 East near Cassett, where you can see traffic is a bit of a slow mover here, so it is best to add a little bit of extra time to your morning commute. Aside from that, not really seeing much of an issue. A lot of green here on the map. The Beltway's looking great. 95 is looking good. We just entered the morning rush about 20 minutes ago, so we're off to a good start as far as the commute is going. So here's a look at I-10. So on the eastbound, as far as drive times are concerned, it's a 9-minute ride. It could build up, so just keep that in mind and pad that into your morning commute. In the meantime, if you plan on traveling westbound on I-10 from downtown to 295, it's only going to take you 5 minutes, I should say. Safe travels. That's a look at your Nimnicht Automotive Time Saver Traffic.
With inflation through the roof, buy now, pay later apps are helping many Americans make ends meet.
But don't use an app until you read the fine print, the security flaws that could put your money at risk. First, though, hundreds of thousands of deaths every year stem from incorrect diagnoses.
The 5 conditions doctors are most likely to miss.